1923 can finally solve this Kevin Costner Dutton mystery from Yellowstone series premiere. There's a mystery surrounding Kevin Costner's John Dutton character from the Yellowstone series premiere that 1923 season 2 can finally solve. John's son, Lee Dutton, Dave Annable, dies in the opening episode of Yellowstone, and a service is held for John's eldest son before the episode ends. Despite audiences getting a glimmer of a secret John Dutton mystery in the premiere, Yellowstone never followed up on that, leaving a significant loose end within Taylor Sheridan's neo-Western flagship, despite its alleged end. The Yellowstone flagship series brought all its most important stories to a close in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 14, Life is a Promise. Case Dutton, Luke Grimes, sold the family's land to the Broken Rock tribe, returning it to its indigenous stewards. He settled down with his family at East Camp after the conclusion of what happened to the Dutton Ranch at the end of Yellowstone. Beth, Kelly Riley, and Rip Kohlhauser moved on too after bidding farewell to John. Still, the Yellowstone Season 5 finale didn't touch this mystery, leaving it for 1923 instead. In the Yellowstone series premiere, the franchise opens up a mystery surrounding Costner's John Dutton IN that it never solves. After Lee Dutton is shot by Monica's, Kelsey Asbill, brother Robert Long, Jeremiah Bitsy, the family holds a ceremony for John's eldest son at the family's graveyard on the property, which is the final resting place of every other Dutton family member. John momentarily closes his eyes during the ceremony and transcends the surrounding scene. When he does this, he remembers something, and the graves of Chance and Ned Dutton briefly appear on the screen. Strangely enough, Yellowstone never explains who Chance and Ned Dutton are, nor does 1883. Therefore, 1923 Season 2 is the Yellowstone installment most likely to fill audiences in about Chance and Ned's identity. Still, looking back on every season of Yellowstone, it seems odd that the flagship series established such an apparent mystery so early in its run and never teased another development. As such, Sheridan is likely saving the reveal for outside the flagship, probably since the primary Yellowstone characters exist over a century after their predecessors. Despite the mystery's lifespan in the flagship series being mere seconds, we can deduce a few things about Chance and Ned Dutton. Most importantly, the date on Ned Dutton's tombstone reads March 16, 1863. The most significant thing to note about this clue is that the year, presumably a birth year, predates James Tim McGraw and Margaret Dutton's Faith Hill journey on the Oregon Trail and their settling in Montana. Beyond that, there are a few reasons to believe that Chance and Ned are children of the 1883 characters. 1863 is 20 years before the family settled in Paradise Valley, Montana, establishing Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone prophecy in 1883. Moreover, in 1863, James Dutton was in a Union War prison following his service in the Civil War, living away from his family. As such, it isn't possible that Ned and Chance were James and Margaret's birth children. We know from the graves that Chance and Ned probably died around the same time since their tombstones are approximately the same size and age. Additionally, we know John Dutton associates the pair. 1923 could be the last Yellowstone series with actual proximity to Chance and Ned Dutton, unless the creator decides to make a series that predates 1883. As it stands now, 1923 Season 2 is the last time the franchise can explain Chance and Ned's identity when the characters are close to the mystery family members in the timeline, allowing the story to have real emotional stakes for the Dutton family members it affects. Another reason that 1923 is the perfect installment to reveal Chance and Ned Dutton's identities is because their stories could lead back to the series' main characters. There's a real possibility that Chance and Ned Dutton are Jacob, Harrison Ford, and Cara Dutton's, Helen Mirren children. From 1923 Season 1, we know that Jacob and Cara Dutton don't have children, opting to raise John, James Badgedale, and Spencer Dutton, Brandon Sklenar, as their boys. It could be that Jacob and Cara erected the monument to fallen children after arriving in Paradise Valley, taking the opportunity to memorialize their kin properly. Still, 1923 can confirm Chance and Ned's identity and explain why the pair meant so much to Kevin Costner's Yellowstone icon. From the moment Yellowstone premiered in 2018, fans have been captivated by the enigmatic and rugged world of the Dutton family. At the heart of the drama is John Dutton, played by Kevin Costner, a man fiercely dedicated to protecting his family's Montana ranch. However, a lingering mystery from the very first episode has left fans puzzled for years. How did John Dutton come to inherit the Yellowstone ranch, and what tragic events shaped his rule over the land? With the expansion of Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone universe, particularly the prequel 1923, starring Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren as Jacob and Cara Dutton, the puzzle pieces are finally starting to fall into place. 1923 serves as a crucial bridge between 1883, which told the story of James and Margaret Dutton's perilous journey to Montana, and the modern-day events of Yellowstone. Through this new lens, we may finally uncover the tragic truth behind John Dutton's ancestry and the sacrifices made to keep the ranch in the family. The mystery from the Yellowstone premiere. One of the most poignant and mysterious lines from Yellowstone's pilot episode comes when John Dutton visits the grave of his father. While the series has yet to provide extensive details about John's childhood, one thing has always been clear. His family's history is steeped in loss and bloodshed. This mystery has led fans to speculate who was John Dutton's father and what happened to him. In 1923, we see that Jacob and Cara Dutton are the primary caretakers of the ranch after the events of 1883. While James and Margaret Dutton were the original settlers, it was Jacob who ultimately took over. This shift in leadership hinted at an untold tragedy, the presumed deaths of James and Margaret Dutton. But how does this tie into John Dutton's lineage? The lost generation of Duttons. A major revelation in 1923 is the fate of Jacob and Cara's adopted sons, Spencer and Jack Dutton. Spencer, the battle-hardened hunter, and Jack, the young cowboy eager to prove himself, are both set up as potential ancestors to Kevin Costner's John Dutton. However, their futures remain uncertain, with conflicts looming and threats from all sides, whether from rival ranchers, law enforcement, or nature itself. The biggest question now is, if Spencer and Jack are John Dutton's ancestors, why aren't they mentioned in Yellowstone? The show has made it clear that John's father was someone deeply important to him, yet his name remains a mystery. This suggests that a major tragedy befell the Dutton family, wiping out much of their lineage before John's generation. 1923 could finally reveal who John Dutton's father was and the sacrifices he made to ensure the survival of the ranch. Theories on John Dutton's lineage. One of the strongest theories is that Spencer Dutton, the adventurous and world-weary hunter in 1923, is John Dutton's grandfather. Given his experience facing danger and loss, he would be well-equipped to pass down the lessons of survival and resilience that John later demonstrates. If Spencer does indeed settle back in Montana, his story could provide crucial insights into the Dutton legacy. Alternatively, Jack Dutton could be John's grandfather, particularly if Spencer meets an untimely end. Jack's arc in 1923 is one of youthful optimism, but he has already faced devastating losses. If Jack survives the brutal conflicts of 1923, He could be the link that ties the generations together. Yet there's another possibility. What if both Spencer and Jack meet tragic fates, leaving an unknown Dutton, perhaps a child born during the events of 1923, to carry on the legacy? This could explain why John's father is never explicitly named in Yellowstone, and why so much of the family's history is shrouded in mystery. How 1923 could provide closure. Taylor Sheridan is known for crafting intricate, generational storytelling, and 1923 presents the perfect opportunity to solve this lingering mystery. By the time 1923 reaches its conclusion, we may finally learn how the ranch transitions to the next Dutton heir. If the series delves into the fate of Spencer and Jack, it could confirm once and for all who John Dutton's grandfather was, and what sacrifices were made to ensure the Yellowstone ranch remained in the family. Another way 1923 could address this mystery is by showing how the ranch endured economic hardship, land disputes, and violence. The Duttons have always fought to keep their land, and each generation has faced its own unique threats. Understanding how John Dutton's father survived, or perished, could provide the missing link that explains the family's modern-day struggles in Yellowstone.